And welcome here to the National Cricket Stadium here in St. George's, Grenada. Dream11 Spice out 10-10 cricket. And we're about to start match number 20. Match number 20, Bayleaf Blasters coming up against Ciinnamon Pacers. So that's match number 20. And we just want to let you know here that our final match a little later on this afternoon, which would start at 2 o'clock. Bayleaf Blasters will be coming up against Ginger General. So that's going to be, got that wrong, I'm sorry. Saffron Strikers will be coming up against Nutmeg Warriors. That's going to be our last match. Well, so far we've had good weather, Denroy, and let's hope that we're going to have good weather for the rest of the day's play.
Yeah, after yesterday's washout, today seems to be a rather wonderful day to have cricket here at the National Stadium.
So, well, it's going to be an interesting situation here with these two teams, Bayleaf Blasters coming up against Ciinnamon Pacers. Let's go to Kerry Frank, who is with the two captains for the toss.
Welcome to the toss on match number 20 in the Dream11 Spice T10 tournament. We have a matchup for the second time in the tournament, Bayleaf Blasters versus Ciinnamon Pacers. At the toss, we have here with us the match referee, Mr. Carl Felix, our two captains for today's match, Michael Narayan and Devon Smith, and the third umpire, Mr. John Mack. Mr. Match referee, over to you. The call is a tail, and it's a head. Ciinnamon Pacers have won the toss. Micah, first of all, yesterday the guys on schedule break. How are the guys feeling coming into this match?
I mean, we kind of disappointed. We wanted 2 points yesterday, but nevertheless we can do nothing about it. God is in control, so we come out today and play good cricket.
Winning the toss, what's the decision for Ciinnamon Pacers?
And we're going to have a bowl first.
All right, as you see, the wicket probably might have been a little slower this morning compared to the previous matches, maybe due to all the moisture that was around yesterday and overnight. Was that taken into consideration in your decision?
Yes. We need to look at the overhead condition as well too. So and the wicket cannot slow them. So we think we use that as an advantage and try to restrict them as well as possible.
Restricting them, I totally have in mind. Devon Smith seems to be in good form. So too, Dennis Smith and a number of the batters are coming good in the tournament for Bayleaf Blasters. So what totally think you can restrict them to?
Anyway, between 100, 110, I think we batters will be good with that.
Oh, sorry, Michael, we want to wish you guys all the best for today's match and the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Right, we're going to have a chat with Devon. Devon asks to bat first on the wicket. Your thoughts?
I think it's a good wicket. Having said that, we just have to bat properly and put a decent total on the board and backwards up the chase.
All right. The last few games, your batters have been up and down. A couple of batsmen other than you have been making small contributions. I'm sure you want one of them to go on to make a big one.
Yeah, I rely on everybody. Once you have the bat in your hand, you go there and try and do the best of your ability. What's required of the team. So we have to be positive and believe in ourselves. Whatever we do, do it to the best of our ability.
Yeah, and in terms of scoring, what you think would be a good total that you can defend later on?
I think 120, 120, 125 would be just fine.
And yesterday, as I asked Micah, you guys had a non-scheduled break. How are the guys doing this morning?
We are doing good. At least at the end of the day, we didn't lose. So you still gain a point. So look at the positive. Just have to see if we could get out 2 points today.
All right. Well, Devon, all the best to you and Bayleaf Blasters for this one.
Thanks very much.
All right. So the news from the middle to recap: Ciinnamon Pacers have won the toss and they have chosen to bowl.
So match number 20, Bayleaf Blasters against Ciinnamon Pacers. And the news is that Pacers, they've won the toss and they will bowl. That's something that we've been seeing most of our teams doing in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. So I think most teams rather chasing, wanting to target against chase and definitely feel comfortable chasing.
You think it's the it's the pattern really? Any advantage or disadvantage in doing that?
Yeah, I think if you can actually know the target that you are chasing, then you're able to plan your innings, and then you can execute those plans effectively.
Yeah, so we will give you the lineup for both teams as to what they're feeling today. Of course, the Ciinnamon Pacers, they're captained by Michael Narayan, the a veteran player. So let's go through Cinnamon Pacers team. Micah Narine as the captain, Kyron Andrew, Alec Athanase, who's been in good form, Hiram Campbell, Chad Charles, Javed Hazard, Nicobe John, Lavon Lewis, Kenroy Peters, Javel St. Paul, and Ruel Edwards. Cinnamon Pacers, that's their lineup for this particular game. The Bayleaf Blasters, well, whether they'll be really in the blasting mood here today. Devon Smith leads, he's at the helm. Kieran Charles, Amical Dubiset, Shaquem Edwards, Deron Hippolyte, Josh Noel, Jalen Olive, Richard Rogers, Dennis Smith, Craig Williams, and Ronell Williams. So that's the lineup for the Blasters. And just to remind you, of course, the Pacers won the toss and decided to bowl. So Bayleaf Blasters will be taking first knock. What sort of target you think then they should be looking at?
Well, I think they should have to trying to plan the innings in the first 4 overs as a power play. They should look at 40 and acclimate another 20, that's 60. So anywhere about 100, 120, it would definitely be a good score for them.
Yes, and we've realized that when you get beyond 100, it becomes a much more challenging total, to run down. So the teams should be thinking about getting into that triple figure. That always is the challenge. So we await as the teams are getting ready to go on. We have umpires Fraser and Hollis officiating in this particular match. This is probably the dullest that we've seen for the entire day. Not that we're suggesting that the rain is hanging somewhere about, but it just looks a little darker. The sun has left us. Maybe the cloud cover has become a little bit more prolific as the wind is shifting many of those clouds from east to west. And yesterday we had very much in contrast to today. We had quite a lot of rain falling. Last night we didn't have much rain in your area. What did we have last night?
Yeah, we had a few showers in St. Andrews area. So I was kind of surprised that there is no rain in St. George's.
Yeah, St. Andrews, of course, the big parish and the agricultural breadbasket, so to speak, of Grenada, and a parish that has produced quite a number of important cricket stars and also sporting personalities. Is a parish with tremendous potential and talent. The umpires have just gone out, and the opening pair, the Bayleaf opening pair, just gone ahead of the fielding team. And something we have pointed out, so much traditions are broken these days, Denroy, where usually you have the umpires going out and followed by the fielding team, and then you've got the opening pair coming down the steps and going on to the field. That has changed quite a lot. Some of the batsmen are in fact going out there, just getting their eye in and making sure their eyes become adjusted to the surroundings, not necessarily waiting for the fielding team to go onto the field.
And they seem that they're up for a challenge. You want to be there ready, so when the fielding comes out, you're ready for the challenge.
So this should be a bumper match. It should be a cracking match. What a wonderful tournament we've had so far, though. Not that the totals have been massive. No team getting up past 125 markers yet. But by and large, we've seen some good positive cricket. We've seen Fletcher, for example, scoring 2 big innings, one over 60, another one at 69. Good innings today coming from Roland Cato. Fletcher picking up a few wickets also. So some of the players are standing out, but I think it's still an opportunity just about the halfway stage here for some players who have not really come off very well. Maybe like Cyprian Forsyth, got 20 today, to now use the bottom half of the tournament to come good.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, Warm. As you can see, most of the players now are getting to the tournament and actually improving their form, and some of scoring runs.
Right, so Devon Smith will be taking strike. Is he? No. Yes, that's correct. Devon Smith will be taking strike. So the innings just about getting ready to start. The sun has come out brighter now. Much of the clouds that were preventing the sun from really coming out in its splendor just passed over, and it's now bright sunshine. So the innings being opened with Devon Smith and Shaquem Edwards, and Ruel Williams will be taking up the bowling attack from the northern or Dabo end of the ground. And there is a third man sort of wideish third man, backward point, extra cover, mid off, and mid off, and a mid on. Here is the first ball by Williams, struck down the ground. Athanes comes across to his left very quickly, sends the return to the keeper. So Devon Smith immediately off the mark, ball pitched up, and he came forward and drove it back past the bowler, and he got off the mark. He's on 1. The total has moved to 1 without loss. Shaquem Edwards now comes into strike.
Yeah, very good bowling there by Edwards. For his first delivery was just right there, a swing a little bit away from Devon Smith, and he drove it down to the ground for 1.
Royal Williams once more. Neat organized approach. He's there and bowls to Williams outside the off stump, looking to drive. The ball was just too close to him, and the keeper just going around collecting. Total remains on 1 without loss. Probably should have thought about giving himself room there, but just stay there and push the bat at it. There's a little bit of carry with the ball. The long on is right back on the boundary. That's Peters. Here once more is Williams in and bowls to Edwards, who's looking to tug that out on the onside. Doesn't make contact. I think the ball must have taken the pad and then run behind the wicket for the keeper to run around, preventing the batsman from going for what would have been a leg by. Total remains on 1 without loss. This is the first over, bowled by Williams, and this is the second match of the day as he moves in again. Once more Williams and bowls to Edwards, who lifts that down to the long on position, straightish mid wicket rather, comes off the boundary, couldn't turn that into a catch. That's Nicobi John, and the batsman had time to cross for 1, but it was in the air for some time and dropping just in front of the fielder who was coming in from the deep mid-wicket boundary.
Yeah, I think Edwards tried to hit the ball, but he mistimed it, and I was lucky for him that he carried to the field at the mid-wicket boundary.
It was good that he didn't time it well. Here once was Williams in now, bowls to Devon Smith. Devon Smith is driving. It's going to be caught, dropped by Athanes, and almost got run out at the non-strikers end there. That's Edwards. Now that should have been taken. He must be very upset with himself. The ball was pitched up. He came forward. He drove. Didn't get the elevation that he wanted. Athanes just moved a little across to his right, and that ball just a little to his right. He should have taken that catch. I've seen him take others before, and that one was rather simple in comparison to other difficult chances that he has taken. Royal Williams will have to try again. He does so, moves in now to bowl to Edwards, who is coming forward, pushes the ball up on the offside. They've got to hurry, and a little bit of misfeeling there, allowing the batsman to canter home rather comfortably in the end. So a bit of drama in the first over. It's gone for 3. I'm sure that Royal Williams would not be very, very pleased about that drop catch by Athanes. So 3 without loss after over number 1. That was a bad miss.
Yeah, very much bad miss there by Athanes, and he pride himself on his fielding, and to drop such a easy catch would be rather disappointing. But nevertheless, I think Williams bowled a magnificent over, first over.
Yeah, it was. He bowled a good over, good steady line and length, didn't spray it all over the place, and that's so very important that your fast bowler, or anybody for that matter who opens the innings, you've got to get off to a good start. A good first over sets the stage for a certain level of confidence in the fielding team.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think we must give good praise here for Ruel, the young talented bowler, and to come against Devon Smith, to experience Devon Smith and bowl such a magnificent over. Kudos to him.
Yeah, so Nicobi John is going to be coming from the far end, and he'll be bowling now to Devon Smith. Devon Smith, who has the life. Here he is, moves in round the wicket and bowls to Smith. Smith is looking to turn that up on the onside, doesn't make contact. Hazard comes very quickly from behind the stumps, picks the ball up, went back to John, ran down the pitch and gave it back to John, and maybe said a little encouraging word to him. He moves in once more. In John now bowls to Smith. Smith is coming forward and drives the ball rather neatly, easily, rather organized up to long on. Gets a comfortable single. He is now pushed on to 3, and the total has moved on to 4 without loss. Brings Shaquem Edwards now into strike.
Yeah, again, you can see two very good deliveries there by John, and he's not scared of the experience of Devon Smith. He's there, going to put the ball on line and length.
Here once more is John in now and bowls to Shakim, who's down the track and lifts that down over the boundary line. Edwards, that's a fine shot, and that's 6 runs. Came forward, got to the pitch. I don't even think he hit it as hard as he would have liked to, but there was a sweet sound of leather and willow meeting, and that went over the long on boundary. Athanase was down there, but just couldn't turn that into a catch. 6 runs, that was a fine shot. He's gone to 7 miss 10 without loss.
Yeah, again, good use of the field there by Edwards.
John to Edwards. Edwards is lifting that over the deep mid wicket, deep backward square boundary. That's a beautiful shot. That's 6 runs. Went down on one knee and he lifted it high and handsome. He was absolutely pleased with the shot. That was a lovely shot. It really was. And it yielded him half a dozen, 6 runs there to Edwards. And the total has moved rather quickly now to 16 without loss.
Yeah, after two good balls in the first at the over, Edwards actually attacking John, and I wonder how we can actually want to think what delivery going to bowl next.
Here is Edwards moving in now. John to bowl to Edwards, and he is coming forward. Faster ball. You can see that he pushed that one through, pushed it up on the onside, and John coming around very quickly to his left, gathered, and he's back to the top of his mark, moves in again to bowl once more to Edwards, who to this delivery is looking to turn that, or maybe looking to swing it down to backward square. Doesn't make contact, but the ball is wide outside the leg stump, confirmed by the umpire. 1 more to the total, so extras just off the mark, just a 1. Total has gone to 17 without loss, as it's John once more, and he bowls, and Edwards is driving that. That's a fine shot. That's a magnificent shot. That's gone over the long off area. That's 6 runs. Wonderful blow. It was pitched up. He went under it and he lifted it handsomely over the wideish long off boundary. That's 6 runs. He has quickly moved on to 19. It's 23 without loss.
Yeah, I think this ball was in the slot, and it's a well executed shot there by Edwards for the maximum huge 6 down long off.
Yeah, beautiful shot. He got the maxi in that one. 23 without loss. So Devon Smith is 3 of 5, and Edwards have pushed to 19 of 7.
Yeah, 2 contrasting overs there. We had a wonderful over there by Ruel, and John there leading 20 runs from the over, and the score is 23 after 2 at a run rate of 11.5 runs per over.
Yeah, well, if they're going like that sequentially, then they could probably get up to that 100 mark that we always talk about. I love to see teams getting to the 3 figures mark. I really like to see that. Well, Kenroy Peter is hailing through the attack, and he's going to be bowling from the northern or the Dabo end. It's going to be bowling to Devon Smith, who is 3. Well, could we see a Cavalier-like innings from Devon Smith today, or would he be a little bit more on the sedate side and allow maybe Edwards to take that aggressive in-front role? He's 23 without loss. Here is Peters moving in, round the wicket, and bowls to Smith. Smith is off the back foot and hits the ball down to Athanase, who has to run across to his right, covers ground very quickly and sends a lovely return to the keeper, who does well. That Hazard shows appreciation for a good return there by Athanase. The batsman had time to cross for 1. He's now gotten to 4, Devon Smith, as Shakim Edwards now comes into strike. He's motoring along. He's on 19, as it's once more Kenroy Peters there now, and bowls to Smith. Smith gets one outside the off stump, and he was pulling away to smack that square of the wicket on the offside. Maybe sought to hit it too hard and probably should have got across and tried to cut rather than pulling away outside the leg stump. Here's Peters bowls to Smith with his on the track, and he is stumped. Oh, Edwards, sorry. Yeah. Down the track he was coming, lifted his head, and the bowler must have seen him coming and pushed it through rather quickly. Oh, it looked a naughty shot. It wasn't there for the swing, and the keeper said, hey, you're out of your crease. That's going to be easy. And he's gone. Edwards gone, stumped by Hazard of the bowling of Kenroy Peters. He's gone for 19, and Bailey's Blasters, they've lost the first wicket. It's 24 for 1.
Yeah, the first wicket of Shaquem Edwards, he was rather aggressive, scoring actually 19 from 10 deliveries. I think from 9 deliveries actually, so at the rate of 211.1. But nevertheless, in the second over, and the score is actually 24 for 1.
Yeah, I think you would be disappointed with that shot. He really was. It was absolutely premeditated. We understand that, and in cricket you do have to premeditate sometime. But I think when he saw that he wasn't to the pitch of the ball, he should have maybe just, I don't know, maybe kicked it away, but he probably just came down the track a little too quickly.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good bowling too by Peters, who pushed it through a little quicker.
Yeah, that was good bowling there by Peters. Saw the batsman coming in and then pushed it wide.
Dennis Smith is the new batsman, turned up on the onside. They go to for a quick single, get it rather comfortably in the end. Devon Smith was backing up rather astutely and was alert, so that's the reason they got the single quite comfortably in the end. Quarter century mark has just come up. Devon Smith is he's on 4. He'll be taking strike now. Dennis Smith just got the single. Field changing around for the left-handed Smith. Here's a delivery that brings him forward, lives that. Oh, that's a lovely shot. That's superbly hit, and he hit that with consummate ease. Wasn't no big wallop, just got to the pitch of it, and beautiful arc of the bat, freestyle, and just hit it lovely over long off. He's got that for 6, and then Devon Smith has gone to double figures. He's 10, 31 for 1.
With Devon Smith caliber, I think Peters pitched the ball right up and he hit it straight back ahead for 6 runs.
Peters to Smith. Smith is off the back foot and cutting well. Fine shot, 4 runs. Just to the right of the umpire. Well, the umpire is on the offside, and he just leant onto the back foot. And gosh, that was a cracker. It went between the backward point and cover down to the boundary for 4. Wonderful shot by Devon Smith. 2 successive boundaries in the last 2 deliveries of the third over. A 6 and a 4 takes his total to 14, and the end of 3, they're 35 for 1. Belief Blasters, they've got off to a good start.
Yeah, very good start there, Rom. A very good start there by Belief Blasters. I think the ball was actually from the last ball of the previous over, actually was short and wide, and the difference with a very good cut of the ball, and actually it was bread and butter for him, and that's why he got the 4 runs.
Yeah, really. He's such a lovely striker of the ball and cuts the ball well. One of the trademark. But I remember speaking to him years ago, and he told me how pleasant it is when he can hit the straight drive. But he's a good puller of the ball, a good cutter of the ball, and drove the ball quite exquisitely too. Well, he's no longer a young man. He's a senior player on the team, and a lot has to, evolve around him. And he's a big help to many of the young players. So Micah Narayan pulls himself into the attack, and he's going to be bowling to Dennis Smith, who's just 1. Narayan is in, bowls to Smith. Smith is off the back foot and carts the ball down to third man, gets a single, and he's off the mark. Sorry, he's gone to 2, beg your pardon. And Devon Smith, who's 14, comes into strike, 36 for 1. We're in over number 4. The field changing around for the left-handed Smith, who will take an off-stump guard, and also he's going to take a middle stump guard. There's a short third man, backward point. There is a sweeper right back on the boundary, long off. Mid-on is in the circle. Here's Narayan, comes in and bowls to Devon Smith. Devon Smith is pulling that down to the deep backward square boundary for 4. Well, there is a deep mid-wicket man on the boundary, just boundary riding, but that was hit so hard, and the timing was absolutely magnificent. And he hit that just to the right of the umpire, and he got 4. Beautiful shot. He's gone to 18.
Beautiful. He went to the boundary like a trace of bullet, and you can see the fielder had no chance.
Yeah.
It's about 10 yards away from him.
Great rapidity to the boundary. Here's Narayan in now, and bowls to Smith. Smith is coming forward. That's Devon Smith. Pushes it out on the offside. He's got a really stride home. Got there in the end. Well, I just talked about him being the most senior player there on the team, but trust me, he's still fit as a fiddle. Took the single, brought his total now to 19, 41 for 1, as his nephew comes into strike. That's Dennis Smith, of contrasting handedness, meaning batting right-handed. Micah Narayan comes in now and bowls to Smith. Smith comes in, pushes it out on the offside, and they will get an easy single. So he's got his 3rd run, Dennis Smith. So the Smiths out there making things happen for the Bailey Blasters. 42 for 1 over number 4 in progress. Well, the run rate is 11.45, which is rather healthy, rather good.
Yeah, very good run right there. And I think so far you can see in the first 4 deliveries of the over, 7 runs were accumulated, and Devon Smith is actually looking to finish the power play in good spirits.
Well, here's Micah Narayan bowls the Smith advances down the track, tucks it neatly off the pad. They've gone for one, will come back for the second. The return comes in at the non-striker's end, and Dennis Smith had to really stride home. He's not a tall man, but he is fast between the wicket and had to stride home. Got there, but the return didn't come at the non-strikers. It went to Devon Smith's end, who was comfortably home. 2 more to Smith, who's gone to 21. The total has moved rather merrily now to 44 for 1, as Micah Narayan will come in with what would be his final delivery in the 4th over. He's pulling the sweeper a little bit straight on the offside. Here he is once more in now to bowl to Devon Smith. Devon Smith is just tugging the ball just down to forward square leg. They've gone for one. They're going to come back for the second. They've got to hurry. The return comes in. Is he gone? Yes, gone. Devon Smith, well, they didn't have the first run very quickly. Dennis Smith called him, or whether he decided to come back, we would never know what went on in the middle. He really came down the track. The return came in very quickly indeed, and he was struggling. You can see it there. He's just about mid-pitch. It was a good return enough, and well, when the bails were taken off by Hazard, he was short of his ground. He comes back rather disconsolately. I'm sure that you'll be rather upset with him, but Devon Smith goes with a beautiful return there from Kyron Andrew, and wasn't able to get home in time. He's gone for 19. It's 44 for 2.
Yeah, 44 for 45 for 2 actually. So we can see, I think, very good feeling there by Karen Andrew. He ran in fast, picked up the ball with one hand, and a beautiful throw there straight to the keeper, and beautiful keeping there by Hazard. And he's rather cool and compact to ensure that the big wicket of Devon Smith and can get a second chance.
Oh yes, that's the big fish gone, the grouper. He's gone. Well, and he was looking in such a marvelous touch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was looking rather good there outside there, Smith. But it's a hard way to get out, run out.
Well, it's
unfortunate.
But it's one of the authentic ways of dismissals anyway. Well, Josh Noel has just come in. Delivery that is hit by Dennis Smith down to the long off position would get a comfortable single. As coming off the boundary there is Ruel Williams, sends the return to the non-striker's end, brings Josh Noel into strike. Noel takes his guard, 46 for 2. We're in over number 5, just getting to that halfway mark. In he is now, and bowls outside the off stump, and that hit very hard down to deep extra cover by Noel. He gets a single, he's off the mark. It's now gone to 47 now for 2. Brings Dennis Smith into strike. So Dennis Smith taps away at the crease. Here is a delivery down the leg side. Poor delivery. Really poor delivery. And got the treatment it deserved. I think they will describe it as 6. Yes, confirm now. It was hit flat. Was spiraling down to the long leg area. It was a rank full toss, and he lifted that. It went flat and just went over the boundary line. 6 runs to Dennis Smith, brings him to double figures. He's gone to tennis 53 for 2 and the 50 coming up.
Yeah, good 50 there by the Billy Blasters after a win over number 5.
Right, so it's going to be once more Peters. He would chide himself for such a naughty delivery. Here he is now and both of Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith is off the back foot and cutting behind point. That's going to run away to the boundary. 4 runs. Well, there's maybe just a little slope down there, and he rocked onto the back foot. It was airborne, but it did split between the shortish third man and backward point. Went down to the boundary for 4, so he's gone to 14. It's now 57 for 2.
Very good batting again by Smith. It was short delivery outside off stump, and he was well cut to the boundary for 4 runs. Here's
Peters again in bowl. So Smith comes forward nicely, flighted delivery, and can do no more than push it up to Arthur's feeling there at long on, and the ball got about halfway there, but he came in rather quickly and prevented the batsman from crossing for another run. So 58 for 2. Noel will be taking strike. Dennis Smith just went down. Dennis Smith, who was 15, went down and said a word to him as if to say, hey, you need to stay there. We can't afford to lose a wicket now. Peters is in now, and Bowles turns up on onside to mid wicket. Now they've hustled for one. I don't think they're going to come back for the second run. They certainly won't do so, as Andrew came off the deep mid wicket boundary, sent the return back. So the over comes to an end. 5 overs gone. We're halfway there. And at the end of 5, Noel will be taking strike. He's on 2. Dennis Smith is 15. A partnership worth 14 so far. The current run rate being 11.80. So they're up there in regards to the run rate. And just looking over at the Darble Hills, it looks a little dark.
Yeah, a little bit dark. The clouds actually looking heavy there. Let's hope that the sun can come out and we can have a good day of cricket.
But it's not in any way marring the cricket here at the National Stadium. Everything is fine and beautiful, and we're in match number 2 here. After this, we've got the final match coming up at 2. So it will be Chad Charles from the far end. The field is rather spread now. There is a man right back on the boundary at long off. There's a deep sweeper, extra cover, backward point, and a third man comes in and bowls, and the ball is hit very hard down to long off by Josh Noel. He gets a single. He's a big man with massive shoulders, is Noel. He's moved on to 3. Dennis Smith, who is 15 of 7 deliveries, comes into strike, retakes his guard as it's once more Chad Charles. CC comes in now and bowls, and Smith is driving that airborne. Fine shot for 4. Just goes over the boundary line now. There is a sweeper, and then there is a long off which is rather wide, and he was able to go over the infield. There is an extra cover there, went over his head, and the 2 fielders down at the sweeper position and also the long off, both of them trying to converge on the ball, and bisected both of them into the boundary for 4. He's gone to 19. As here once more is Charles in. Bowser Smith, he's down the track, hitting this time straight, and straight enough to get 4. It was hit straight and flat, and though the long off is right back on the boundary, had to cover maybe about 10 yards to his left, and it was struck so powerfully, wasn't able to do anything about that, but he went, retrieved it, and will send it back to the bowler. Fine shot by Dennis Smith. He's gone to 23, is now 68 for 2.
Beautiful batting there. Always value for playing straight.
Charles again in to bowl to Smith. Smith is looking to reverse, and reverse sweep that is. Doesn't make contact. Hazard collects behind the stumps and then plucked the bail off, but the bails were dislodged. But of course he was there planted behind the crease. 2 batsmen having a bit of a dialogue. I think Josh Noel might have just called him down. 23 is Dennis Smith. Here is a delivery that is outside the off stump, cut down behind point. They will get a second run. They come back for the second run quite smartly. Good running too. I think from the moment it left the bat, they thought that there were going to be 2. Called quickly and said, hey, we need 2 here. And Smith, of course, coming to the danger end, was scampering back for the second. He's gone very quickly now to 25 as he faces once more to Charles, who is hitting that just behind. He's caught. Well, he was looking to hit that down to backward point. It stayed in the air for quite some time, and the fielder just running back there. In the end, I would think took a good catch. So the enterprising Dennis Smith, he's just gone, cut down at the down at backward point, and Williams, I think, running across and took the catch, and so they've lost another wicket. 70 for 3.
To 70 for 3 after 6 overs. Not bad going at the run rate 11.67. But I think sometimes we see so many after getting 11 runs in the first 5 deliveries. You know, I think Smith with his experience should have actually looked for a single there. But it's T10. You're looking to maximize as you can.
Sorry, I did say that's Lewis, of course, who took the catch. Levon Lewis taking the catch, but it was a good catch because he had to run back and kept his eyes on the ball all the way, and in the end the catch was taken. So Smith has gone Cotlevon Lewis of the bowling of Charles for 25 is now 70 for 3. And Craig Williams, who had a decent knock yesterday before the rain came, he has now come in to replace Dennis Smith with total 70 for 3. We're in over number 7. This is going to be bowled by Javel St. Paul. I think the rain has begun to come down, albeit is rather light. Here is the first delivery that is down the leg side by St. Paul. Wide confirmed by the umpire. Total moves by 1 now to 71 for 3. So the extras have now gone to 2. So it has been rather disciplined on the part of the bowling team. As here once more is St. Paul moving in now to bowl to Williams. Williams is coming forward, pushes it out on the offside, would get a single. Had to stride home, but I don't think he was in any danger at all. And he's off the mark is Williams. Total has gone by 1 to 72 for 3. Josh Noel, who is on 3, now comes into strike. St. Paul in his first over. Tall, slender young man, just tossing the ball from hand to hand and begins to move in. Noel is ready, taps away at the crease, looks up and sees that St. Paul is coming in. Bowls delivery that is hit straight. Would the catch be taken? No, it's not, but drops just inside. 4 runs would be signaled by the umpire. It dropped just inside. Arthanez was in fact coming across very quickly along with Peters, and neither of them was able to cut it off or take the catch. Good straight hit by Josh Noel. He's gone to 7.
Yeah, good shot. Good value there for playing shot. It was so delivery by St. Paul, and good shot there by Noel.
St. Paul to bowl to Noel. Hits that. The ball goes out the outer half of the bat. It's going to be caught down at the sweeper position. The catch is taken. And well, going for one too many. And he will have to go, Noel. Caught down at the deep squarish cover boundary. And another wicket has fallen. It's now 76 for 4 as Ruel Williams, coming in from the deep cover position, kept his eyes on the ball, took the catch and took it rather easily. So Josh Noel goes, caught Williams of the bowling of St. Paul's. He's gone for 7. It's 76 for 4. 76 for 4. And as we say so, I think we're getting some light rain. I don't think that the umpires would want the pitch to be wet at all. So they've come across the ground staff with the first piece of cover, which would cover the pitch itself, because we had just a little bit of unfortunate incident yesterday, but didn't really mar things too very much. So they're taking all the precautionary measures as possible to ensure that the pitch is properly covered. Then there will be the smaller tarpaulin which would be placed over that one, and then we've got the massive one that would come and do whatever protective work that will be necessary. So as just a slight drizzle, just a drizzle, so to speak, very light rain, you hardly could distinguish it from here, as well as it might be just something precautionary, whereas the umpires might be saying, you know what, we don't want to take chances, we can't see what's taking place. Now we're just getting a little bit of shot at it. That's the Darbo Hills, we're looking at it there, and the rains do come from that direction. Of course, the rainforests in the midsection of Grenada, the Granitang forest, rains tend to develop in that area and then come over the hills, so to speak, down to the valley.
Yeah.
And they're trying to be as precautious as possible, covering the pitch, which is so very important to be kept dry and protected for the match. And of course we've got other matches to come a little later on and over the next few days. So Bailey Blasters, who was sent into bat, 76 for 4 before this interruption. And just to quickly go through the scorecard, Devon Smith was run out. Beautiful return from Andrews down in the deep. He went for 12 balls, hit 2 4s and 1 6. Akeem Edwards was stumped hazard running down the track of the bowling of Peters for 19, and had 3 6s in those 19 runs that he scored. Dennis Smith, enterprising, quick, bustling, 25 of 12. Josh Noel was cut. Ruel Williams, that's the last man to go up the bowling of St. Paul. He went for 7. Williams, that's Craig, not out, 1. And so, after some 6.3 overs, with the rain threatening, 76 for 4, 76 for 4, that's, and the current run rate is 11.69. So far, only 2 wicket takers in Peters. He's picked up 1 for 26, and Chat Charles, he's picked up 1 for 11 off 1. So it's become a little darker, I dare say, here at the National Cricket Stadium here in St. George. It's a wee bit darker,
Yeah.
and I think if we look over to the Tempe area, we can in fact see that the rain is coming down. It's steady across there, and it's going to get here at the National Stadium.
Yeah, you can see that. I think it's unfortunate because we're in for a very exciting, but it's not. This is neat here, and it's all natural that the rain is here. But hopefully that it can subside and we can get at least see a completion of the second innings.
Right, of course, that's for cricket, but for somebody like me, Delroy, who also love my gardening, got up this morning and spent about an hour in the gardens. I was so glad, really,
Yeah.
to get some rain in. Did plant some corn this morning and some okra. I did.
Yeah.
And with the ground as wet as it is now, we can expect over the next few days they should be getting out of the ground and showing the beautiful green heads. So that's the situation here. Bailey Blaster 76 for 4. The rain has come and has stopped play, and until we can have a resumption, we invite you maybe to have an ice cream where you are. If you're going to be having lunch, as it might be, it's now 12:30 thereabout. So around the Eastern Caribbean, people would be having lunch now. We ask you to enjoy your lunch and whatever you're doing. And as soon as the weather clears up here, we'll be back to give you the commentary. Back here, resumption. We had a short shower, but everything is fine now. They're back on the field, and there'll be no changes in the playing conditions. We should let you know here. So Bayleaf Blasters, they're going to resume at 76 for 4. 76 for 4. Williams not out 1 and Olive not out, no score. And St. Paul's, who started, got to 3 deliveries, will now complete those 3 remaining deliveries to complete his first over. 76 for 4 as he moves in now to bowl to Williams. After the resumption, well, you saw that his run-up was lacking rhythm, and he did the right thing. It's always better to ensure that your run-up is good. If you're not comfortable, it's right to abort it. It's certainly within your right. And he did that. Turns once more is St. Paul. Moves in now and bowls to Williams. Williams is driving outside the off stump rather loosely. Doesn't make contact. Hazard collects behind the stumps. Total remains on 76 for 4. Well, that was pitched up. His eyes lit up. And he was looking to heave that over the bowler's head. But didn't make contact. Keeper collecting behind the stumps. Short third man sweeper. Down at the backward point. Moves in now. And bowls outside the off stump again. He's looking to swing that, but he's not getting to the pitch of the ball. That's Williams. He sees that he's pitched up, and rather than getting as close as possible, he's staying from where he is, and he is really lunging his bat at it. Doesn't make contact. He remains on 1. Well, Jalen Olive has just gone down the wicket. Have a little word with him. Maybe he's telling him to get closer to the ball. As St. Paul was getting ready to move in. In fact, moving in. Williams pulled out as if to say he wasn't ready, and he moves in once more again. Is St. Paul in now and bowls to Williams. Williams is driving in the air. Oh, what's a diving effort there at extra cover, and the catch not taken, but it was a really brilliant effort on the part of who it was. Micah Narain. Yeah. Really hurled himself in spectacular manner. Wasn't able to pull the catch off, but if he had taken it, it would have been an absolute stunner. The over comes to an end. 7 overs gone is 78 for 4.
Yeah, 78 for 4. I think that was a beautiful try there by Mike, and I actually saved his team 2 runs, but it might be a chance, but actually good filling there by Mike and Naring.
Right. Was travelling to his right and travelling very, very quickly too. And hurled himself in quite spectacular fashion, goalkeeper-like to his right, and just managed to knock it down. But if it had stayed into his hand, if he had gripped it and grabbed it and it had remained there, it was an absolute screamer.
Yeah, it would have been actually the catch of the tournament so far. But nevertheless, I think we must give him good for 100% for the good effort he made.
So Olive will be taking strike, his first ball for the innings, and Narain, who just missed a very difficult chance, will be coming in. None for 10 so far. St. Paul picking up the wicket of Josh Noel as Narain would move in to bowl to Jalen Olive. He's there on balls, and Olive comes forward, looking to squeeze that out on the offside. Ball might have taken just the outer portion of the bat and ran out on the offside. The keeper coming very quickly from behind the stumps, picks up Hazard, who's done good work, good service so far behind the stumps.
Yeah, so far Hazard has been a neat keeper behind the stumps.
He certainly has. Narain moves in again to bowl to Olive, who to this delivery is off the back foot. There's an appeal for leg before, not given out by the umpire. So that one must have just cut back into the right-handed batsman. Let's look at the replay here. Yes, cut back, and that hit him too high, and was also maybe slanting down the leg side.
Yeah, a little bit high there, but nevertheless, I think good bowling there by Narain. 2 deliveries and 2 dot deliveries.
Here's the veteran Narain. Leans forward, straightens his approach. Now he's bustling in and bowls to Olive. Olive swings at. That's going up to long on. The catch will be taken. Dropped. Well, a big diving attempt there. Down at long on. And it would have been quite a spectacular catch if it were taken. Let's look at it. He didn't cue it all that well. One of the hands came off the bat and it went spiraling down to the long on area. And well, he never looked like taking the catch at all in the end.
But good try by John.
John,
there.
Nicobe
Yeah,
John.
Yeah, good try by him.
Well, he's in once more, Narayan. Now, and balls to Williams. Williams is bowled, is he? Stumped?
Yeah, beautiful keeping there.
He really stumped him.
Yeah.
No, that was like fast lightning. That was fast. Woo, he was keeping up. That's right. Now look at him going down the leg side. It went, that's what got me. It went between the pad and the stumps. It was absolutely brilliant. It reminded me of the heyday of Junior Murray standing up to the medium pacer. So Craig William goes stump. Javel Hazard of the bowling of Narayan for 3. That was absolutely brilliant. It was fast.
Yeah, it was real fast. Good keeping there by Hazard. And we just complimented him for his neat work behind the stumps. And he actually repaid again and showed how good he is.
Beautiful. Oh, it's been a little while since I've seen something so spectacular. The good old-fashioned keepers did it. The Michael Finley, Junior Murrays, the David Williams. All of those were such outstanding wicket keepers. And that was brilliantly done down the leg side. Richard Rogers has come in rather, to replace Craig Williams. Brilliantly stumped by Javed Hazard of the bowling of Micah Narayan for 3. 79 for 5. So Rogers facing up to Narayan. He is cutting that. Oh, I think it might have been a nick attached to that. So you'd want to probably call it drop. Well, it's a single. Let's look at it. Was it a little bit more bungs? How thick? Oh, that's not easy to take. So it wouldn't be fair to him. That hit him somewhere on the forearm.
Yeah, well, thick edge.
Thick edge.
Yeah, very thick edge there.
So please don't put it as dropped. It won't be fair at all. 1 to Olive, 1 to Rogers. Olive taking strike. Narayan is in and bowls, and he's driving that up to long off. We'll get an easy single. The return comes in very quickly to the keeper's end, about 4 bounces before it got there. So that completes the over. 8 overs gone. 81 for 5. 81 for 5. And John Olive, who is on 2, will be taking strike. But again, we just have to talk about that brilliant stump in there by Hazard to dismiss Craig Williams.
Yeah, and what is so nice about the stumping, he actually lost sight of the delivery, and he was just neatly went across, to his left and actually get the ball into his gloves and hit the ball so off rather quickly.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and passed between the legs and the stump, and it was down the leg side. Now that is what made it so brilliant, because he might have been a little unsided by the batsman and had sufficient good frame of mind rather to collect the ball cleanly and then to whip the bails off. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to remember that for a very long time.
Yeah, we all.
So Olive is going to be taking strike, and St. Paul will bowl his second over. 1 for 8 so far. He's going to be bowling to a short third man, deep square cover, cover conventional right back on the boundary, and then there's an extra cover inside the circle, long off, long on, deep mid wicket. There is a forward square as he moves in now and bowls to this delivery. He's hitting that straight down the ground. That's a fine shot there by Jalen Olive. Got under it and he lifted it high and handsome. And I think 2 fielders thought for a fleeting moment that they were in business, but quite frankly, he hit that so straight. And Arthur coming across there from the long on area just looked at it as it helplessly, or safely rather, sailed over his head. And also Peters, who was coming off from the long off boundary, both fielders looked up and in quite dismay saw that it went for 6. He's gone to 8. Here once more is St. Paul in now and bowls to Olive. Olive is tugging that down to long on. Arthur comes off the boundary. This time it's all along the carpet, and they will in fact get 1. He's now gone on to 9. Richard Rogers, RR, comes in to strike now. Total 88 for 5.
Yeah, 88 for 5. We're into the 9th over. So basically 10 legal deliveries left. 88 for 5. The score could be anywhere 100.
Yes, they can. St. Paul in now and bowls, and that's lifted down to the mid-wicket area. The catch won't be taken, but they will in fact come back for the second run as Rogers lifted that down to the mid-wicket area. 2 runs to him, and he's now gone on to 3. They'll be trying to score as many as possible. The total has now gone to 90 for 5. I see no reason why they wouldn't get into that triple figure milestone. 9 to Olive, Rogers 3. Little adjustment to the field. There is now a deep square leg and a deep mid wicket. Here once more St. Paul is in ball outside the off stump. Big swing at that one. Doesn't make contact because he was so far away from the ball. That's Rogers as Hazard collected behind the stumps and then went very quickly approaching the wicket as if to say, if you dare run, I'm going to run you out. But of course Rogers didn't have any way to go, didn't want to try a run at all.
Yeah, very good delivery there by St. Paul.
St. Paul once more, Javel St. Paul in now, and both to Rogers. Rogers is hitting that. Oh, he dropped it. They've gone for one, won't come back for the second as Peters comes off and sort of overran the ball. Arthur Nares backed him up. That came back very quickly to St. Paul, and he didn't manage to pull off the catch at all. Went behind him, just took his hand and parried it, ricocheted behind him, and the batsmen were able to get the single. So Rogers has got to 4. Olive, who's 9, comes in to strike. 91 for 5. We're in over number 9, just a 1 delivery remaining here. The rain has begun to come again, albeit it is rather light, as is St. Paul once more. Moving in now to bowl to Jalen Olive. He's there and bowls, and Olive smashes that fine shot for 4. What a magnificent shot. It was pitched up. I must say that it wasn't a half volley, but he threw the hands at it, and it went screaming past Micah Narayan, who is feeling there at extra cover. Nobody had the chance to pull that off or cut it off, and it went down to the boundary for 4. Fine shot by Olive. He's gone to double figures, 13. The over comes to an end, 9 gone, 95 for 5.
Yeah, very good shot there by Olive. It was a wide ball outside Austin by just a large on the T10 hit the export for 4 runs. Yeah,
it was a kind of shot that the late Larry Constantine loved. Half cut, half drive, former Trinidad and Tobago all-rounder and former all-rounder also for the West Indies team. And of course, there are a lot of people listening may not have even heard about Larry Constantine, who turned out to be Sir Larry Constantine. Yeah. What a wonderful player he was. Great all-rounder in the early formative days of West Indies cricket. Played such a great role. And of course other players like Clifford Roach, who did a great job for the West Indies. All these older players, they've now gone to the great beyond. One of the last ones we had, Sir Everton Weeks, who went I think at age 96. Here is Real Williams, comes in now and bowls down the leg side. The ball takes the pad and goes out on the offside. Let's see if the umpire would signal. Did he signal? No, he didn't. So which means that he got. He did?
Yeah,
he did. I'm sorry, I was rather belated about that. My, I beg your pardon about that. I really thought that he didn't. Well, did he?
Yeah, got an inside edge.
Oh, he got an inside edge?
Yeah, inside edge.
I think our language was divided up here. Here, now it's Williams in bowls outside the outside. That goes down to the long off, over the long off boundary. That's 6 runs. It was flat, but it was hit very hard indeed. The 100 has now been posted, and he's gone quickly now. Jalen Olive has gone to 19. It's 102 for 5.
Yeah, 100 comes up with our 58 deliveries, 767 fours. The 100 up for Billy Blasters.
Yeah. Oh, they got to the triple mark, triple digit. Here he is once more. Williams in bowls. There's a appeal for cut behind. Not out, says the umpire. Good work there by Hazard, standing up. He seemed to relish standing up. Let's look at that. Oh, he was close to the off stump too. Yeah, and the bails was taken off so quickly. Gosh, he's enjoying his keeping, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He certainly is. 102 for 5. Olive is 19.
Yeah, final 3 deliveries. What do you think? Score over 100 and we get 360s from Olive?
Here he is, hitting that down to extra cover. Well, they scamper a single and wouldn't go for the second run. Narayan coming in there from extra cover. just threatened to throw the wicket down if they decided to go for it. They quite astutely said no. So Rogers taking strike, he's on 5. Olive has gone very quickly to 20, 103 for 5 as Will Williams is coming forward, is coming forward is Rogers. Hits the ball down to long off, gets a single. One hand was off the bat. In fact, they will come back for the second run. Little bad miss there by Hazard behind the stumps and allowed the batsman to come back for the second run. So total has gone to 105 now for 2. Rogers 7. Olive looks on from the non-strikers end. This is the final delivery coming up to bowl to Rogers. That's Ruel Williams would move in now. Well, the umpire has his hands outstretched, just asking him to hold on a bit because Rogers is not quite ready. He is now, and here's the final delivery as he's in and balls outside the off stump, looking maybe just to run that down to third man. That completes the over. So at the end of the over, at the end of 10, it's 105 for 5. 105 for 5. Rogers not out 7. Jalen Olive not out 20. A partnership, a last partnership there of 26. And with 105 for 5, it means that the run rate 10.50. Not bad at all. Let's just quickly go through the scorecard. Devon Smith was spectacularly run out by Andrew. Andrew Hazard combination. He went for 22, 12 balls, 2 fours, 1 6. Sharkin Edwards was stumped Hazard of the bowling of Peters, went for 19. Dennis Smith was caught Lewis of the bowling of Charles for 25, 12 balls, stayed just 13 minutes at the crease, 3 fours and 1 6. Josh Noel was caught Williams of the bowling of St. Paul. He went for 7. Craig Williams was spectacularly stumped by Hazard of the bowling of Narayan for 3. In the end, Olive was not out 20, and a good innings of him, just 10 balls, and he hit 2 sixes and 1 4. Richard Rogers not out 7, and so they got up to 105 for 5 with Olive not out 20 and Rogers not out 7. Well, in terms of the bowling, none for 13 of 2 was Ruel Williams. Nicobi John, none for 20 of 1. Kenroy Peters bowled his 2 overs, 1 for 26. Narayan bowled 2, bowled very well, 1 for 13. Charles, 1 over for 11 runs, picked up a wicket, and Javal St. Paul had 1 for 22. So we had, in fact, 4 bowlers picking up a single wicket, and at the end, the extras turned out to be 2, which is quite disciplined. Just 2 extras, comprised of 2 wides.
Yeah, we can see yet again we see a good performance by bowling performance by Michael Narayan. Yet again, the veteran, 2 overs for 13 runs and 1 wicket. I think he actually, and his captaincy on par, and his bowling actually is good.
So Ciinnamon Pacers, they have a victory target of 106. If they get to 106, they're going to win that. Bayleaf Blasters 105 for 5. 105 for 5. The top scorer being Dennis Smith for 25. So the innings are going to just change around, and we'll be obviously be on hand. We'll be waiting for Ciinnamon Pacers' reply. They'll have to score at about 10.50 runs per over to eclipse that particular mark of 106 for victory. So we're going to hang on a bit, and please join us. We'll have the run chase by Ciinnamon Pacers.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome back at the National Stadium. Dream11 Spice T10. We are about to see the reply of Ciinnamon Pieces. They're going to try to get 106 for victory. And we expect a exciting finish as we see the sun is now making its way out. Condition a little bit on the gloomy side, but we are hopeful that it's going to brighten up this afternoon as we see sun beginning to come back over the venue.
Yeah, well, it's as you say, the rain on the hills, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will reach here, and we are hoping it don't.
So Bailey Blast has 105 for 5. Olive played a good hand, scoring 20. Rogers was not out on 7. They really would be hoping for a good bowling performance. Bailey Blasters at the bottom of the table, and really want to come up with a win today. Well, we just see the player just getting into position. Alec Atenas opening the batting with Heron Campbell, and two of these players would have done pretty well in the tournament so far. Atenas with the most runs in the tournament, 229, and Campbell, who have had some good performance in his batting.
Yeah, and particularly the last inning, he played extremely well, and as you said, two are probably the better opening batters in this tournament, and a lot will depend on them.
So Amikel Dubiset gonna pick up the attack from the southern end, which I think he loves quite a bit. And the left-handed Atenas going to take strike. Alec Atenas, he scored 48 in the last game. Have been having some good scores. He's going to prepare to face the first delay from Atenas. Atenas from Dubiset to Atenas, and play to short point. The fielder, they a bit slow in picking it up. Thomas. So he's off the mark right away, 1 without loss.
And this batting lineup has not had many opportunities to go deep down, so maybe a couple of early wickets could really set them back.
Heron Campbell, who have really played good opening the batting, played a couple of good innings in the tournament, and he would be hoping to have a good start as Dubiset to Campbell, and Campbell is allowing this one to go outside the off stump again. Just echoing a shot as it went through to the keeper. Dennis Smith keeping right up.
And that is important because we have seen quite a number of the batsmen coming down the wicket, and with the keeper keeping up, that will restrict them.
So a short third man, cover point, he pull it, cover. As Campbell is playing this one through mid wicket, going to run very close and goes down to the boundary for 4. Really timed that ball better than we expected. They picked that gap neatly, and that ball went down to the mid-wicket boundary for 4.
But it seemed that he actually came off the outer half of the bat, but it really sped along the ground, even though it was not in the middle of the bat. In fact, I don't think that's where he intended to play the shot either.
Yeah, probably got quite a bit onto it, and it went across the field for 4. Again, it speaks to the quality of the outfield, even though we had a bit of rain. But to be set once again over the wicket to Campbell, and Campbell is driving well. The mid-off comes wrong, so 1 more to Campbell. It's 6 without loss. Campbell is on 5. Pacers needing to get 106 for victory. Hippolyte moving from square cover to square cover for the left-handed Atenas. Thomas, short third man, Dubiset, and this is played straight to that fielder at cover point. And a simple catch going there as really Hippolyte would be very disappointed there dropping that catch. Got both hands to it and put it down.
Well, yeah, I could imagine the feeling of the players. That's Martinez, who have scored the most runs in the competition. He's on just one and being dropped a very easy catch or simple catch to the man at probably just for the point, and what a let off.
Dubicet once again to Atenes. This one he hit, this one goes through the cover fielder there. And the batsman pick up, they're coming back for 2 runs there. Just a little bit of sloppiness there as that ball went and through the cover fielder, Smith, and they pick up 2 runs. So a really interesting first over being bowled, 8 runs from the over, and could have picked up the very important wicket of Atenes.
Yes, and but what I think is missing there, they didn't start that well in terms of the feeling, but no one seems to be energizing the team out there. They're just going along, and I thought that a catch like that, then a misfield, then 2 bumbles, and someone need to really, lift the spirit a bit.
Well, the catch that was dropped here, you could see that the spirit dropped even as when that catch dropped. Big wicket, and it went straight to Hippolyte, who failed to hold that catch.
He has a chance to amend that now because he's coming into the attack.
So Hippolyte are going to take it up from this northern end. Jalen Olive at mid-off deep, just on the circle. And he's going to bowl right arm around the wicket to Heron Campbell. So he's up to Campbell, first delivery. Campbell is coming to push. Again, just comes on the edge, or we just wait to see probably the bat and pad. And go down to, yes, came off the bats. And go down to a backward point. So 1 more to Campbell, 9 without loss in second over. As we see, again, getting a bit gloomy.
Yeah, the cloud that I said is on the hills. The question is whether the rain is there, is whether it's going to reach here. We hope it does not. And a good first ball from Hippolyte, having the batsman in some problem.
2 players right back on the boundary as for this Atenes. Again, getting some turn there as Atenes go to cut. And that ball, pulling away there, that ball turned away from him.
Yeah, it turned quite a bit. In fact, Atenes, who is one of the better stroke players in the game, didn't even read it.
Well, he faces another delivery from Hippolyte to Atenes. Short delivery, pulled down to mid wicket. There's fielder on the boundary. The batsman take 1. Again, one thought that could have been a bit more aggressive in that run, and the fielder really had come from off the boundary. And the ball was not hit firmly.
I think he didn't time it that well, and probably was expecting it to carry much quicker to the fielder. In fact, the fielder came around and then had to come in, and that would have given them the opportunity for a second run, but they never had it in mind.
So that fielder Dubicet coming off the boundary. 10 without loss in the second over. The right-handed Campbell faces Hippolyte. Giving some hit down to long on. Lovely shot goes over a wide long on, and the first 6 of the match. Campbell really coming on, getting under this one, and hitting it cleanly over long on for 6.
Well, he flighted it a bit there, but it was in the slot. Campbell, as we know, has that ability to hit the 6s, so it was in the slot. He went through it, got it off the meter of the bat, and 6.
So 2 players, a long on and a wide long on, pretty close. This is a short delivery, pulled straight back over through the keeper's hand, and the long on comes around and just stop it before we get into the boundary. Really, that one really went through the bowler's hand.
Yeah, well, it was struck firmly, and he didn't seem to get his hand up in time. It looked as if he had it under control, but it went through.
Atenes. And it's cutting this one again to the cover position again. Have the opportunity to score one more. It's 18.
Well, they will have to do some recovery work there because the 2 overs, 2 catches, a couple of misfield, 18 without loss. Atenes is still there, Campbell is still there. So I think they will have to upbeat the tempo, Yeah, it seems like not lazy, but moving rather slowly. Probably the first catch, has got to them, but it's still a long way to go in the game.
Yes, yeah, most definitely. I just seem to, let's just add a bit more. Dubisset in his second over. First over going for 10. As he comes up to the wicket, the ball to Atenes. Atenes is again looking to drive, not timing. Ball bouncing out to cover. Again, no opportunity of a run. It just seemingly struggling with his timing. Doesn't look the fluent player we know he is in his innings so far.
Yeah, and as I say, every day is not the same, but today he doesn't look the quality batsman we know he is.
Well, he faces another delivery from Dubisset and he pulls it and down to mid-wicket and just in front of the fielder in mid-wicket and goes down to the boundary for 4.
And that's what we say now, because he has hit a number of these balls into the stand. And again, he didn't time it. And the bowler, the fielder had a choice to make whether to come in and make the catch. I think with a person like Altinez, you will want to take the catch. He just didn't get there. He dropped just before him and went into the boundary for 4.
Yeah, wasn't an easy catch, but I think he got close enough to it. Just seemed to skip even before he get his hand down and it went across the rope. He's up to Atenes this time, driving down to mid-on. Again, the timing is not there. Bouncing down to mid-on. Atenes. He's on 9 from 9 delivery. Probably the slowest start in his batting so far in each inning that he would have played. So he faces Dubisset once again up to the boat. Atenes hitting this one just past the mid-on, which was wide, and again another single, but again the timing is not there. They seem to drag it across.
Yeah, and the effort he put into it, one would I expect it to go a lot further, because he has played some magnificent shots in the tournament so far. And even with all the effort, he still didn't clear the circle. So it tell you that his timing today is not as it has been so far in the tournament.
It's 23 without loss. The right hand and Campbell into strike as Dubisset over the wicket ball to Campbell. Campbell hitting this one down to mid-on there, very firmly down to mid-on. And the fielder there not feeling cleanly. The batsman taking another single. Campbell score moved to 14 from 7. And Atenes on 10 faces another delivery from Dubisset. He's up to the wicket, both Atenes. It is this going to go down to the boundary for 4. Let's see, 4 wide signal by the umpire. Shortish ball, and it was wide off the off stump. Atenes looking to cut, and the ball swinging further away and made no contact, and Smith keeping right up was not able to get glove onto this one.
It was very wide, and Smith had to go quite a bit to his left and just couldn't get there.
So it's 29 without loss. Atenes, the highest leading run scorer, again outside the off some wide, but he just got his bat onto it, and the bottom edge, and it went down to Thomas at that short third man, and if he didn't touch it, really would have been signal another wide.
Well, you know when a batsman really is not in total form as he has been before, because that was an extremely wide delivery, and he still went after it and just got the bottom half of the bat. But 2 very wide deliveries from the bowler, Dubisset. I think And he has come to the end of his spell, 19 of these 2 overs. Not what probably the start that they expected.
Yeah. One of the things as a batsman, when you are struggling, you want to feel the bat on the ball, and we saw Atenes they really going after that delivery. He pull it to Campbell. Campbell is hitting this one straight to mid wicket. Again, just pulling it around. Again, looking for that deep mid wicket area. He pull it in his second over so far, none for. This is short. This one is hit just over the point region and it goes down to the boundary for 4. Short delivery, really needed, deserved to be hit away, but he didn't get hold of it and just got it over the field at point, and it went down to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, short, very short delivery, and he chose to go onto the offside. He tried, succeeded in cutting it just over the stretching arms at the player at point, and it goes into the boundary for 4.
So it's 33 without loss. He pull it, and Campbell is hitting straight back. Very beautiful catch, a lovely catch by Hippolyte there. A ball struck really firmly back to him, and even though he juggled it, but really take a fine catch.
Oh yes, coming back at you at that pace is never really easy to take. Yeah, and as we know, Campbell is a very firm hitter at the ball. Pitched up, he swung at it back down the wicket, and the bowler in his follow through. He's bowling around the wicket, so his follow through will take him more to the right hand side. The ball was to his left, so he had to change direction, and he took a very good catch. And I think probably luckily he did too, because it would have been very close to the umpire.
Yeah, good catch, really good catch taken by Hippolyte. So probably made up a bit for the one that went through his hands in the previous over.
And the dropping of Atenes in the first over.
And the dropping of Atenes, so it really have been tough going. So this will give him some confidence. 1.3 over, 1 for 14. Karen Andrew replaces Campbell. And for his first delivery from Hippolyte, he's again looking to push on the onside. Taking on the pad. And load appeal by Hippolyte. It's 33 for 1. We are in over number 4. As Hippolyte once again bowled to Andrew. Andrew is looking to cut, comes off the edge, goes down to a fine third man or just a slip area. And the third man having to run back and run around. 2 runs to Andrew. He's off the mark with 2. And it's 35 for 1. Hippolyte. As 2 batsmen just having maybe a little discussion. Hippolyte bowling to a ring of fielders on the offside. This one is pitched up, and again he's looking to hit that one. The head will maybe somewhere over mid-off, made no contact. It goes into his pad, and that ends the spell of Darren Hippolyte. 2 overs, no maiden, 16 runs, 1 wicket, but this was certainly a better over.
Yeah, a good over from him, and getting the breakthrough that is so vitally needed. And of course, the 2 batters top class, so whichever one will be very beneficial for the team. Good over, bowling off spin around the wicket. Sometimes you think that probably over the wicket might have been a better choice, but he did restrict the runs, and he took a very important wicket.
So Atenes, of the 7 matches, has a total of 229 runs, a height of 78 not out, good average 57.25, and he certainly would want to add to this, as we see light drizzle coming across the field.
They say they always take a key from the ground staff. They are wrong, but doesn't look that interesting in what is happening. So maybe we can't see from here where the weather is.
Kieran Charles, this one is down the leg side, signal wide by the umpire. Again, Atenes was inside the looking to hit over backward square, which is position which is vacant. There's no one on the boundary. But it's the sort of shots you would have seen him picking up ball and hitting over the ropes with ease. Different day. Again, this one is hit beautifully over backward square for 6. The shot he attempted before, but he picked up this one, and this is the Athens we know. Picked it up sweetly and hit it over backward square for 6.
Yes, it did clear the boundary, good shot, and it's similar to Kato. It goes into the wicket pretty early, so your line had to be probably just outside off stump, because anything on the stumps or just outside, you will be well inside of it to help it along. And surprisingly, it doesn't have a backward square to Martinez.
And for this delivery, again he's swinging, and again down to the boundary for 4, and just to the right of the shot, a short fine leg, and it raced down to the boundary for 4. Again, you see him just using ball, just train on the legs a bit, and he took full advantage and hit it down to the boundary for 4.
Well, that's 2 shots that was played on the onside. The bowler needs to look at his field placing, and I suspect he had a part to play in it. He has 5 players on the offside, and his deliveries from around the wicket, no one know why, around the wicket is down the leg side.
So 2 shots, 6 and a 4, which would give Athens some confidence. Now we see the long leg, fine leg goes back. Well, in a long leg position. And this ball is played past the short third man down to the boundary for 4. Good shot, steered it, another short delivery, and he steered it just past Thomas, who's at that short third man region, and it's ped down to the boundary for another 4.
You know, we always talk of that when you're in that circle to a pace bowler, and once the ball is not direct to you, you had to do very well to stop it, and this one he was not able. But again, good shot from Martinez, getting on top of it and staying it wide at the player.
So 15-29 deliveries, and this one is played down to backward square. The fielder comes off the boundary, so 1 more to Athens. It's been a good over. 51 for 1. Athens moves to 25. Certainly those 2 shots he played will give him a great deal of confidence. Well, Charles in his first over just a bit on the short side, and the batsman Athens taking full advantage of it. As Andrew comes in to strike, Curran Charles. Again, he's looking to whip this one to mid-wicket. Made no contact as it go into his pad.
I wonder if he didn't play it because the bowler didn't appeal, and that was well up. And the batsman did make some room across. I thought the appeal would have been more vigorous.
Well, either he played it or they felt it was down the leg side. No need to appeal. He's off to the wicket now. Andrew is pulling this one, and where does this go? Drop and shot in square leg. No one in that position. Again, not getting hold of it. Ball taken high up on the bat, and he gets 1 run. That completes the over. So Charles in his first over going for 17. After 5 overs, it's 52 for 1.
A bit expensive. I don't think he bowled that well. Not too sure the field placed it assisted him, but bowling to Athens is always going to be difficult. You really can't afford to bowl bad deliveries, and so he bowled a couple in that over, and he paid the price.
Roger's going to pick up the attack. Roger's going to pick up the attack from this northern end, and just maybe after a few more words from Ali Dibelot, Pastor Wormel will continue the commentary.
Yeah, well, still 5 overs at the halfway stage, 54 needed in 30 deliveries. Good bowling could still create a problem, but the bowlers are not really as tidy as there has been, or they are expected to be. Quite a number of loose deliveries, which someone with the form and the runs as Athens, you really can't afford it, and so they need to get line and length much more in good line.
Just about even Steven now, as is Rogers in and bowls to Athanase, who is off the back foot and cutting just behind square on the offside, but can't pierce the field. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with that. Probably hit it too hard into the ground. Athanase remains on 25, 53 for 1. It's just about even here now, as he's in once more. It's Rogers bowls. Reverse that. Reverse sweep. That's a fine shot. That's gone all the way. Beautiful shot by Athanase. He's done this a few times already in his in the tournament so far. Just switching around and sweeping that over the backward. Well, it turned out to be like a backward square, but it really should be backward point down to the boundary for 4. So sorry, for 6. Beg your pardon. So he's gone to 25. Is it 25? 31. Just a little bit belated on the score. Well, 31. Total has gone to 59 for 1. Beautiful.
Yeah, he didn't start it off in the form, but he's getting into it now.
Rogers into Athanase, who comes forward and drives the ball neatly up to a long on rather. Would get a comfortable single. So he's gone by 1 out to 31. Such a fine player he is. Really lovely, beautiful on the eyes. As Rogers is in now and bowls and looking to heave that over long on. Is comprehensively bowled. Andrew goes. I think the leg stump might be pushed back. Maybe there was a bit of premeditation there. Let's look at it on the replay. He was looking to hike that over. Yes, the leg stump was gone. So he's bowled. Cameron Andrews bowled Rogers for 3. And now the Ciinnamon Pacers, they've lost another wicket. And it's now 60 for 2. That was a welcome blow there.
Yeah, and ball pitching just about middle and leg, and he trying to hit it over deep middle wicket. Missed. It was well up, and I'm not too sure the pull would have been the right choice there. Maybe a straighter bat, got the ball pitching up, but he missed and was bowled. And the bowler has been bowling around the wicket for some time before, and he has just switched to over the wicket, which I think would have been the better choice.
And you see how important it is to be bowling at times wicket to wicket. You miss, I hit. And that was the case. Rogers bowled that stump to stump, wicket to wicket, and pick up a very important wicket of Karen Andrew. Bowled, leg stump, push back. Ciinnamon Pacers now 60 for 2. Micah Narain comes in, the captain, as here is Rogers in now to bowl to Narain, who is lifting that down to the deep mid-wicket boundary. That's a fine shot. That's gone all the way. Now that's the first ball he has received, and he went under it. That's a brave, bold, audacious shot that brings 6 number 197, and that went soaring over the straight deep mid-wicket boundary, and he is gotten off the mark in quite spectacular fashion. He's gone to 66 for 2.
Well, I would sympathize with the bowler there, because Narayana has not been in really great form, and a new batter coming in after getting a wicket, he tried flighting it a bit outside the off stick. It might have been a little too much up to the stumps, but a really good shot from Narayan.
Yes, the two fielders, the long on, wideish long on and deep straight mid wicket. The distance between them was about 20-25 yards. Both of them went right back on the boundary, and they looked up, and they looked up rather helplessly, and saw that the ball was soaring over the heads and went over the boundary line for 6. Athanase with 32. Narayan is 6. He'll be taking strike, that Athanase, and it's with Shaquem Edwards, who will prepare to bowl to him from the far end. Bright sunshine here at the National Stadium in this Dream11 Spice Isle 10-10 tournament. Here's Edward, comes in, bowls, and he lifts that down to long on. That's gone for 6. Fine shot by Athanase. Pitched up, and I think he had the confidence, just leaned into it and lifted it. Beautiful shot, and it went over the long off area, over the boundary line. 6 runs to Athanase. He's gone to 38, 72 for 2.
And at one time we thought he was going into the field hand, but it was well timed.
Here he is once more outside the off stump. Hits that down to third man. 1-2 bounces over the boundary line. That's 4 more. I love the way that he hit that one. It was outside the off stump. He stretched for it. And don't forget, the fielder is inside the circle. And that's Josh Noel, went over his head. And it went over the boundary line foremost. So 2 deliveries, yielding 10, 76 for 2. Arthur's gone to 42.
And you actually scoop it in a type of way over the infield. And what a beautiful shot.
He's such a skillful player. If you want him to play straight and orthodox, he can do it. And then he can be versatile, can do the reverse sweep. And like that one, he stretched and scooped it over the third man area. Here once was Edwards, moving in now to bowl to Arthur's, outside the off stump, looking to cut. Wide signal by the umpire. The ball was just too wide. And one could probably understand why he didn't get anything attached to that. Arthur's leading run scorer, I would think, in the tournament. He's batted so very well, taps over the crease, looks up. Very neat, organized stance he's got, as here once was Edwards in bowls, and he's driving all along the carpet this time, down to long off. Gets a comfortable single as the return comes in from Charles down there at long on. One more to Arthur's total. It's now gone to 43. The total has pushed on quite merrily now to 78 for 2, brings Micah Narayan, who faced just a 1 ball for a huge 6, into strike. Right-handed batsman Micah Narayan leading the Ciinnamon Pacers. They're going to be a short extra cover put in. Devon Smith is going to be right there for the drive. As here he is once more, is Shaquem Edwards from the far end. Right arm, medium fast. Well, he's making an adjustment. He's asking Devon Smith. Let's see what he's asking him to do. He's not satisfied with something. Right, the deep backward square is brought into the circle at backward square, more to just to the right of square leg preferably, and the backward point has gone down to the boundary. Here's a delivery outside the off stump, and looking Narayan to squirt that through the offside. Doesn't make contact. Smith collects, or rather hits his pad behind the stumps, but no harm done. Total remains on 78 for 2. Narayan settles over his bat as Edwards moves in again and bowls, and Narayan is hitting that high and hard. That's going over the boundary line. That's going to go for 6, it may seem. The umpire is just kindly asking the player to confirm that 6 runs, but he probably should have had a better effort than that. Let's see. It was a difficult catch, I must admit, and in the end it went over the boundary line. So 6 runs there to Micah Narayan. He seemed to be going in 6s. Here is once more Edwards in, bowls to Narayan. Narayan is looking to hit that maybe through the offside. Doesn't make the kind of contact that he wanted. The ball took the bottom edge of the bat and went bouncing back to the bowler, who just grabbed it on his follow through. The over comes to an end. 7 overs gone, 84 for 2. Micah Narayan, 12 of 2 massive blows. Arthur's not on 43, will be taking strike, and it looks very much as though the Pacers might just pace themselves, Ali, to a victory here.
Yeah, and another expensive over from Edwards, but I think the Pacers have got control of the game now. Arthur still there. Narayan was not at great form in the competition, but seems to be coming into his own, which is not a good sign for the fielding team. And that another 22 require of 18 balls. I think the batting side will be high favorite.
Yes, I would agree with you. Highly favorite to pull this off. So here is Richard Rogers into bowl to Arthur's, who is driving that ball sweetly to cover square. Ball travels very quickly but can't pass the field. Total remains there at 84 for 2. Arthur's on 43. So 22 from 17 balls. That's the equation. As Richard Rogers would move in once more. Right arm over the wicket. He's there now and bowls, and Arthur's goes on to the back foot and just taps the ball out to extra cover. Saw the opportunity for the single. They ambled it. He's got his 44th run. Micah Narain, the captain, now comes in to strike. 2 sixes so far in his 12 runs, 85 for 2. Rogers from the northern or Dabo end in now and bowls to Narain. Narain is looking to heave that over. I don't know where exactly he wanted to go with that. My thought it could have been on the back foot and seek to cut it down to backward point.
No, I think he had planned the shot before the ball came, and what he planned for didn't come.
Dangers of premeditation. Rogers is in. Both to Narain beaten with an absolute beauty. He was pushing down the wrong line. And Smith collecting behind the stumps. Dot ball. Narain. Can he do something big in this over? Here is Rogers in once more, and Boston Narain to this delivery is hitting that or looking to hit that. That one was sprayed outside the off stump. And the manner in which he bats, it'll be hard for him to get those sort of deliveries away, except they're a little bit closer to his body. Rogers once more moves in now and bowls to Micah Narain, who to this delivery is coming forward and swings the ball down to the deep mid-wicket position. Will get a comfortable single. The read comes into the non-striker's end as Williams comes off the boundary. That's Ronald Williams, and the batsman had time to cross for 1. So the 8 overs already gone, 8 gone, 86 for 2. It means now they require 20 from 12, and it may not be as simple a task as it may look.
Yeah, and then they have come back pretty well in that over from Rogers. Just 2 runs coming in the over. They needed to score 10 runs over, and so they now need 20 or 12 deliveries. This is a very vital over in the game.
Well, in the first encounter, Bayleaf Blasters 92 for 6 of 10, and Ciinnamon Pacers, they got 96 for 3 in 8.1. So this is still a very interesting match here. It's sort of evenly poised. Now, if Ronald Williams comes in here and bowls, let's say, an over that yields just about 8 runs, it means that they will need 12 of the final, and it will be quite a bit of asking. Micah Narain faces up. Here is Williams, bowls outside the off stump, looking to tug that down to the mid-wicket area. Doesn't make any contact. And it's Dennis Smith behind the stumps, collecting and whipping the bails off. Dot ball. Every time there is a dot ball, the equation becomes much more treacherous. 86 for 2. Alec Athenes looks on from the non-striker's end. Micah, Narain, who's trying to play a lot of bottom hand. Here comes Williams in, Boston Narain outside the off stump. Would it be confirmed a wide? Yes. Maybe that was just a little too far. In the discretion of the umpire, sending out both arms like an eagle getting ready to take off flight. And the batsman couldn't make contact. Dennis Smith collecting behind the stump. Still 87 now for 2. As Ronald Williams again from the far end in brilliant sunshine passes the umpire in now and bowls to Narain. Narain hits that in the air. Somebody's going under it with a catch be taken, dropped it. They will come back for the second run now. Let's watch the return. It's not the best in the world either. They get 2, and that's one of the things that we've been noticing. The catching has not been good at all. That stayed in the air for quite a while, Ali, and it should have been cobbled up down at the deep mid-wicket boundary. Let's look at it. Made a bit of a meal of it in the end there, as Hippolyte really spilled the catch. Here's Williams, moves in once more, aborts his approach.
That's the second catch Hippolyte has dropped. He dropped Athenes or not, so he under pressure, but I'm not too sure he came in too slow. He needed to take the ball a bit higher, and he came in slow, got the ball too low, and it popped out of his hand and onto the surface.
Yeah, lacked confidence. Probably tried to hold it with hard hands. Here, a delivery outside the off stump by Ronald Williams. Looking to cut that one. Micah Narain doesn't make contact.
And we must give the bowler a lot of credit here. After a drop catch like that, still bowling is good line and good length, and a pretty good over so far from him.
Yes, keeping an off stump line. This time turns from the top of his mark once more. Williams begins to move in to bowl to Narain. Narain is looking to hit that over long off, doesn't make contact, and Dennis Smith is standing up. Whoa, this is getting tighter. 17 required, 8 balls remaining. Good bowling there by Williams. Narain looking to hit the ball hard, but he's trying to play across the line of the ball, and that's the reason he has not been making contact. He might be advised to play straighter, or maybe to hit maybe inside out. Here once more is Williams in, balls to Narain. Narain hits that in the air. Oh, that's a huge hit. That's a huge hit. That's gone a long way over the bowler's head, over the umpire's head. And the two fielders, one down that long off and the other at long on, none of them had the remotest of chance to do anything about that. Beautiful hit there by Narain. He's gone to 21. It's 95 for 2. They need 11 from 7.
I think the bowler need to get his head up. Now, Narain went across a long way, and the previous 2 deliveries were maybe the same line. And Narain went further across, waited on him, and he bowled at the same place. And Narain was able to make contact.
Could have been a slow ball too. He should have done that. Here's Williams in. No one bowls to Narain. Narain is looking to hit that down to mid-off. Doesn't make contact. By signal by the umpire. Dennis Smith didn't really grab that ball well, and it had to be backed up there by Jalen Olive coming in from a short third man. Dennis Smith is favoring his hand. I don't know, not to show the ball may have hit him on the hand. Let's see what we can pick up here. Oh, might be that thumb, you think, Ali?
Yeah, it looked like the thumb, and didn't really go into the gloves at all. And so that, but just last over, no, still, yes. So probably you will try to pull it through, because last over.
Yes, well, he's a warrior. The Warriors don't die, do they? 96 for 2.
He has played a lot of cricket, and
Yes.
but Pastor, sometimes we don't get in the psyche of the players. Martinez is on the other end. And at no time Narain tried to give him the strike, even though he doesn't seem to be in total control of his inning. And I think you're not there first ball, put Martinez down, and Martinez could do whatever he wants after that. But he been trying to do it. He still got some runs. He had a 6 for sure, so it's down now to 10, and it could still probably a good 2-3 deliveries could make a big difference.
We might argue that he hit a big 6 straight back over the bowler's head.
In the 4th delivery.
So it's going to be Kieran Charles.
With the final over.
Yeah, final over. Moves in to bowl to Narain. Narain is clipping that down to the deep backward square area. He's going to get 4. Came forward, turned the wrist on it neatly. Well, he is going to be the champion here for Ciinnamon Pacers. He's playing a captain's knock. He's gone to 25. And in pretty quick time too, is 25 with 15 balls. A lot of those 15 balls he missed, but trust me, when he connected, they've always been productive.
And I see the sort of reaction of the keeper, because you think that player should have been probably a bit more backward, because he's not that quick and he's bringing the ball up.
They require 6 from 5. Here is Charles moving in to bowl to Micah Narain outside the off stump, close to be a wide, signal in fact that it is by the umpire. So 1 more to the total. Extras, they've now moved on to 11, 9 wides in the innings. That's a bit too much. This is a T10 tournament, and you got to be careful to make sure that your line, your length, more so line is correct. Too many wides. As his Kieran Charles moves in now and bowls to Narain. Narain hits that. That's going over the mid wicket area. With the catch be taken? Yes, taken down at the deep mid wicket area. And that's almost like an anticlimax. For a moment it looked as though it was going to go all the way, and the fielder down there on the deep mid wicket boundary takes the catch. Ronald Williams, in fact. And so that completes the innings of Micah Narain. He's gone for 25. Caught by Ronald Williams of the bowling of Kieran Charles. It's 101 for 3. They need 5 from 4.
Well, good catch in the end.
again, he did fumble with it, but the important thing there that he took it high. So even after fumbling, he had enough time to get the rebound. Good wicket, but I still think that the batting side still has that better chance of winning the game.
Yes, Arthur Nays will be taking strike. The batsman did cross. The catch, I thought he took it high and also with reasonably soft hand. Didn't panic when it popped out.
Right.
Remained steady and then took it on the second attempt. Well, here is Charles moves into bowl to Arthur Nays, who to this delivery is lifting that in the air. Is that going to go all the way? Will it go? Yes, gone all the way over the long off area. 6 runs out confirmed by the umpire. That was a big hit by Arthur Nays, who screamed his way to 50. And so Ciinnamon Pacers, they've won this game, and they've won it in quite emphatic manner with 3 deliveries remaining. That was a huge hit there by Arthur Nays, who is not out 50 of 24. It was not a cavalier inning, so to speak, but quite frankly, it was well paced, well measured. And so they've won this game, and won this game by 7 wickets, the Ciinnamon Pacers. And, a deserved victory, I must say, deserved victory for Ciinnamon Pacers, as the Bayleaf blasted. They tried well, and it came down to the very last over. So Ciinnamon Pacers, they've won by 7 wickets, and Arthur Nays, as I said just a wee little while ago, not out 50, 107 for 3, that's the final score, 107 for 3, and it was a well-deserved victory by the Pacers.
Yeah, well, Bayleaf, obviously, yes, the Pacers won the game, but Bayleaf led them into it, dropping Arthur or not, another difficult catch. And at some point, he was struggling to get, but he's such a good cricketer that he soon got himself into form and was able to play an excellent inning, in fact, a winning innings, because got down to the final over, and he was still there and still playing good shots. I think he was the difference between the two teams.
So the Pacers, they've won this game. They've defeated Bayleaf Blasters. Ciinnamon Pacers defeating Bayleaf Blasters by 7 wickets. And so let's just go through the scorecard rather quickly for you. Arthur Nays, who hit the running runs, he was not out 50 at the end of the innings, batted for 43 minutes, 4 fours and 4 sixes, 50 runs. So it was a rather boundary studded innings. Heron Campbell, Cotton Bowl, hit Hippolyte, he went for 18. Kieran Andrew was bowled by Rogers for 3. Micah Narayan came and played a rather interesting innings. He got 25, missed a lot of balls, but he has 3 sixes in the process and a 4. Kenroy Peters not out, no score, and the target being reached by the Ciinnamon Pacers. They got to 107 for 3 when Alec Arthur Nays launched a huge hit off the bowling of Kieran Charles down to long off, and it went soaring over the boundary line for 6. Let's go to the bowling analysis. Amical Dubisset, he had none for 19 of 2. Hippolyte 1 for 16 of 2. Kieran Charles 1.3 overs, no miss, 1 for 28. Rogers, Richard Rogers had 1 for 15 of 2. Shaquem Edwards had none for 18 of 1, and Ronald Williams didn't pick up a wicket, just a 1 over he bowled. So the Ciinnamon Pacers, they've won this game. They must be very happy. It came down to the very last over of the match, but in the end they won it with Arthur Nays not out at 50. Well, we have the next game coming up, and that match is going to be played at 2:15, which would be in the next 13 minutes time. The light roller is there, just rolling and putting a little bit of freshen up there to the pitch, and the players are going to be coming out shortly. So the next game is going to be at 2:15. Now that match, Saffron Strikers, they're coming up against Nutmeg Warriors, and in maybe just about 3 minutes we're going to be back to do the introduction and the pre-match details, and then we'll take you through the final match of the day as the Strikers will come up against the Warriors.